What's up, everybody? I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. Go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. So it's our daily hail forecast, but we're actually talking more wind and hurricanes. Yes, Hurricane Ian is now leaving Cuba, fortunately for people in Cuba. But it is getting closer to the U.S., tracking towards Florida right now. So I know a lot of Floridians are bracing for, the impacts of this storm as it tracks that way. So we're going to talk about the timing, going to talk about potential impacts, and then we're giving you guys an update on our chase team, where they are, what they're expecting, and all of that good stuff. But before we get into our forecast, come check us out at the RCAT MRCA Roofing Conference in the Fort Worth Convention Center. This is, it's the 27th. So it's today through the 29th. So make sure to go ahead and get out there and say hello to the Hail Trace reps that are going to be there. Then yesterday, really scattered day of severe weather, not really any severe weather to talk about. Actually, we had one report in far southern Arizona and then some trees down near Albany, New York. But other than that, not much to speak of in terms, again, of anything crazy happening. Today's a little different though. If you're not in Florida, it's really pleasant. 70 degrees in Denver, 81 in Wichita, 72 in Atlanta, even nice in Miami right now. But things are, expecting to change soon, and I know all of you guys are probably watching this wondering what's going on with Hurricane Ian right now. So there it is. After it got off of Cuba, you can already see the eye has popped up just to the north of Cuba, just to the south of the Florida Keys. If you guys are in the Keys, you're already seeing the impacts from those outer bands as it heads towards you. Lots of tropical storm watches and warnings out in effect. Hurricane warning is in effect here in red through the Tampa Bay area and far along the west coast of Florida right now. So we're watching this continue to track up towards the U.S. And guys, it's gaining that symmetry. We're seeing that eye wall open up. There it is on water vapor. You can again see that really nice symmetrical circle of all that water vapor around that eye wall as this thing starts to continue to intensify and gain strength heading up into the Florida area. So here's our sea surface temperatures, not much holding it back right now. Sitting in the mid-80s all the way from really Mexico down into Florida. And that's going to help it continue to strengthen as it moves into a low shear environment. Not a whole lot of dust, nice warm water, everything it needs to continue to strengthen heading into the area. So right now, 115 miles an hour on Ian, major hurricane status at Category 3, moving north at 10 miles an hour, so making decent enough speed for a hurricane of its size and strength. Heading up towards Florida, it is expected to rapidly intensify towards a Category 4 status. Possibility to exceed that, we're watching it. Now as it moves up towards land, then it starts to decrease a little bit, so we'll see it making landfall, likely as a Category 3 at this time. Now it's shifted a little bit south of Tampa, so yeah, we have a chance to see some decent impacts in Tampa, but the most intense winds and storm surge are now southwards, more towards Sarasota, Port Charlotte, and even Fort Myers. Then once it moves inland Orlando, yes, you guys will also see severe winds from now a Category 1 Ian impacting you guys into Thursday morning. And then as it continues to track up towards Georgia, should lose a little bit of intensity, moving through as a tropical depression or tropical storm and then changing off into a low as it moves through the Carolinas. So, and that is by Sunday. So we got a little bit of time to watch the storm continue to track through the area. Here's our chances of hurricane force winds. So anything greater than 73 miles an hour is classified as a hurricane force wind. Here's your probability of getting it. Find your city here on our list, and then here's our map. Anything in green is 10%, purple is 100, anything in between there. So Wednesday afternoon, not a ton of us seeing hurricane force winds, pretty low chances, if you're on the map. But then into Thursday morning. So it's expected to make landfall Wednesday night through Thursday morning, and that's when you see our chances starting to go up. If you guys are in between Tampa and Port Charlotte, that's when we could see greater than 50% chances of seeing hurricane force winds tracking up towards Orlando. Then it starts to weaken over land, so it's not really going to help anyone much further inland see anything hurricane force, but severe winds are very likely for you guys in Orlando. And then again, weakening as it tracks up through Jacksonville, up through Georgia, and then through the Carolinas. So you guys should be in the clear for hurricane force winds, and then, you know, some severe winds possibly here and there if you guys are inland and farther north. Then, leaving us with our wind forecast for today and tomorrow. Not really going to go into future radar because, you know, we can see it coming on satellite there. But if you guys are pretty much anywhere south of, you know, North Florida here, then you got a chance for tonight seeing some potential impacts beginning. A couple 60s here and there for Tampa, low in chance for Melbourne and Miami, but we could see some rotating storms as well. So be on the lookout for a gust or two up to 60 miles an hour with a potential spin-up tornado with Hurricane Ian as it begins to track over Florida late tonight. Now, if you guys are in Key West, higher end chance to see those impacts a little bit earlier, maybe this evening. And then for Havana, you're already in it. So, you know, you got a pink marker and the blue because that's already happening over you guys. But fortunately, you're on the tail end of things. You're on the back end of the storm now, so things should start to clear up for you guys in a little bit here. Then for tomorrow, like today's forecast is going to be for tonight into tomorrow morning, tomorrow's wind forecast is going to be for Wednesday night into Thursday morning, okay? So again, it's going to be a very similar area here, now leaving Cuba out of it, but keeping the Keys in. If you guys are anywhere in Tampa down to Fort Myers, high-end chance of seeing damaging wind gusts with this storm. We're still waiting to see where that eye wall lands. Is it going to be just south of Tampa? Is it going to be just north of Fort Myers? It's likely to be somewhere in between, but we could see over 100-mile-an-hour gusts wherever that eye wall ends up landing. So light blue swath for you guys, high-end chance in that area to see some damaging wind gusts. We got tornado chances for you guys as well, with any rotation in those outer bands, and then including Melbourne and Miami to potentially see some severe wind gusts as well on the outer edge of that storm. So if you guys are anywhere along the Florida Peninsula, I'm sure it's no shock to you that a hurricane is headed your way. It's been all over the news right now. We're covering it, but you know, you want to be extra prepared. Just make sure that you guys have a plan in place and, you know, stay tuned for any updates. So for rainfall and storm surge, we covered a little bit of wind, definitely looking at some severe wind chances for you guys. But rainfall and storm surge are also two, you know, large impacts that you can see with hurricanes, tropical storms, and the like. Oop, just dropped my clicker. That was embarrassing. Okay, so, rainfall. Well, that just went south pretty quick. Okay, so rainfall forecast though. Anything along the Florida Peninsula could potentially start to see, you know, some accumulating rainfall by Wednesday afternoon. And again, Wednesday evening is when we're expecting to see landfall between Tampa and Fort Myers. So again, 2 inches expected by Wednesday evening, but then quickly increasing for you guys in that corridor. Could see upwards of 10 inches near Clearwater, and again, upwards of 15, maybe even nearing 20 inches for you guys through the area. Now, I think this is a little bit aggressive on some of our numbers, but the big point is that we're seeing a lot of rainfall expected, probably again in the range of 15 to 20 inches, where that eye wall landing is expected by Thursday morning. Then for storm surge, if you guys are inland, you might not know what this is. If you're from Florida, I'm sure you're very familiar with it, or anyone along the coast. But storm surge is just basically when that ocean wave gets pushed further inland from the wind. And the stronger the wind is, the more storm surge you can see. So that's why the right side of that storm, where you start to see winds pushing inland, tends to be a little bit more severe. We get those stronger winds, and we get that higher storm surge with those stronger winds. So the higher the wind blows, the more storm surge you can get. And eventually, you can get enough, if you're close enough inland with strong enough winds, you can get enough of that, you know, coastal water moving inland that you can, you know, start to see some pretty intense damage to homes and properties out along the coast. So here's what we're expecting for potential storm surge through the area. Right now, here is the Tampa Bay region, looking like our models have pushed things a little bit southward, so that's fortunate for you, but could still see up to 3 feet of storm surge through the Bay area for, you know, landfall of this storm Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Then down into Port Charlotte and through Fort Myers, you guys are unfortunately on the side of that storm where that wind pushes all of that water up into your area. So it's potential to see over 9 feet of storm surge if you guys are right along the coast. So just be prepared for that in the Port Charlotte area, as well as Fort Myers, St. James City, San Carlos Park. Any of you guys that are right up to that water could potentially see some very damaging storm surge from the right side of this storm as it passes over your area. So most at-risk cities for that storm surge, Tampa's at a high. I think it could honestly even be a little bit lower than that if the eye wall shifts southward. So we're going to keep watching that, going to keep updating you guys in the Tampa Bay area. Fort Myers and Port Charlotte, again, you're just right kind of in the path of that strong wind and storm surge, so you got a high chance for you guys. Sarasota, kind of the similar chance as Tampa to see anything along that eye wall area. And then Naples, Miami, tapering off our chances a little bit since you're going to be more on the outskirts of that storm in Miami. You guys will probably just see mostly outer bands. So if you guys are anywhere on this map or in between, again, just a reminder to pay attention to what's happening over the next couple of days. So for our city impacts for Tampa and for Fort Myers, starting out with Tampa, still got a moderate chance to see tornadoes. That has not changed. You know, any of those outer bands that get a little bit of rotation going could potentially, you know, drop a tornado or two, but they'll be pretty brief. So moderate chance for that. High-end chance of storm surge, but lowering that chance as the storm shifts southward. Flooding though from rain, you got a chance to see maybe over 15 inches. So be on the lookout either way for some flooding through your area. Wind damage is currently high. I mean, you're going to be close to that eye wall even if you're not in it. So, you know, you want to be on the lookout for damaging wind gusts with that storm passing through. Then for Fort Myers, okay, so now we're on, you know, the further south end of Ian. Still got that moderate chance of tornadoes, but now upping our chance for storm surge, over 10 feet possible, as well as 5 to 10 inches of flooding possible. And that's going to be localized, but still present. And then again, possibility to see over 100-mile-an-hour wind gusts if you're close to that eye wall. So again, that eye wall is really going to be dependent on who sees those triple digits for any, you know, crazy winds. Where that's going to land is going to be the big factor in that. But, you know, if you guys are near it, then expect up to triple digits. So last but not least, our chase team tracker. So right now, they are just south of Atlanta. They are tracking down towards the Sarasota, Florida area based on our update from a couple minutes ago. We just asked them where you headed. But Frank said at 11:15 this morning, you know, the model consensus has been showing that eastward and shift and also a bit farther south. So, and I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about, just south of Tampa now. And so that's where they're headed for their current target area. And we'll update you guys on where they're tracking. But if you see the hail stalker with the radar wrap on it, make sure to tell them hello, because they're headed to intercept Ian as it tracks that way. Then leaving you guys last but not least with our 5-day tropical outlook. Obviously we have Ian on the horizon, but we've got another one right behind it, 70% chance of formation over the next 2 and 5 days as this disturbance tracks through the central Atlantic right now. So this one's not in anybody's way currently, but we'll see what happens when it strengthens and intensifies. Gonna keep a close eye on that. Gonna keep a close eye on Ian. We're gonna try to get you guys updates as often as possible. I'm gonna go live on TikTok in a second to talk about it and answer questions. So you guys want to hop on there or hop on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter and hit see first on Facebook so you never miss one of our live videos or live coverage. Same with YouTube, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And then if you want to get in contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can also email us if you'd rather, info@hailtrace.com, or check out hailtrace.com for more details. And we'll let you know what's going on with all your weather risks. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.